Hello and welcome. My name is Sarah and we're here for chair yoga. Thanks for joining. Today we're just gonna move a little bit. This could be something you do on a break at work. If you sit at a desk all day, this could be something that you do just after maybe a nice long Netflix binge, whatever. Something that you need to move the body and kind of remind yourself of all the different muscles that you have and give them a little nourishment. So thanks for being here. If you haven't already, get yourself set up in a chair. Ideally a chair that doesn't have any arms, and then ideally a chair that also doesn't have any wheels. If those things are unavoidable, if it's on wheels, put it on a carpet. If it has arms, then we'll just use that as a tool. It's all good. And then if you have a couple blocks, grab those as well. If you don't, that's okay. We want to have our feet firmly planted on the floor. So if you are kind of dangling, depending on the height of your chair, put a blanket, a pillow, something under your feet so you can really plant down. That'll be part of our practice today. So you pause the video, get all that gathered, and then meet me back. All right, when you arrive, go ahead and scoot to the front of the chair. Not all the way to the front. You can still have your whole glutes and upper thighs on the chair, but don't be leaning all the way back and slouching, okay? Nice tall spine. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Do that a couple times. Draw the shoulders up and then down. Okay, settle in. If it feels comfortable, close the eyes. And then start to notice your breath. Just becoming aware and just starting to be curious about your breath. It's something that happens naturally, so we don't often pay attention to it, but it's keeping us alive at any moment. Start to notice the breath, notice the quality of your breath, maybe if it feels stuck anywhere, if one nostril's plugged, if it's getting caught on the back of the throat, just notice, be curious. And you start to match the in-breath with the out-breath. Or if you felt a little anxious, maybe you make that out-breath a little bit longer. Out through the nose. And if your eyes are still open, maybe they're starting to get soft and heavy. Maybe the gaze has come down to the floor. The eyes have been closed this whole time. Can you give yourself a moment to just notice what you see, even with the eyes closed? What light's coming in? Draw your hands to the center, bring your palms to touch, elbows down by your side, sit up a little taller, draw your thumbs towards the center of your chest. Find a little press between your thumbs and your sternum. See if you can expand a little more through the collarbones. Can you draw your core in, feeling your navel reach back towards your spine? If you'd like to set an intention or dedication for your time here, here's a good chance to do so. Otherwise, just focus on the breath. On your next inhale, start to reach your arms up overhead all the way to the sky. Let your nose still stay at the horizon. Reach tall. See if you can even lift your rib cage up off of your hips, off of your pelvis. And then exhale, turn your palms away, lower the hands down. Send your nose down towards the floor. Turn your palms to the outside of the room. Inhale, reach up, let your gaze come high, let your palms meet back at the sky. Reach a little taller, let your nose come back to the horizon. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, turn your palms out to the side, lower down, and let your chin tuck. This is our movements. Turn your hands out to the side, lift your nose, let your gaze come high, palms to touch. Nose back at the horizon, let your gaze come back. Reach tall, find the length. And then your exhale lowers down, nose lowers. You got the idea. Keep going, your own pace. If any part of this doesn't serve you, don't do it. This is your practice. This is an opportunity to just move and get curious. All right, so next time you reach tall, this will be your last round. Meeting back in neutral. If you've fallen so you're sort of pressing back towards the back of the chair, remember to come back towards the front edge. Bring your hands to your hips again. Extend your right leg out long so the heel touches the floor. And then start to shift a little forward. So you're tilting forward on the pelvis just a bit. Elbows start to swing back towards the back edge of your chair. Maybe they even touch. I have a pretty wide seat, so I don't have that ability, but maybe you do. Maybe you practice that a little more. Maybe you reach for elbows towards the back edge. Take an inhale. Let your gaze come high. Exhale, use your core to draw yourself back up. Release the elbows. Inhale, arms come high. Exhale, fold over. Hinge at the hips as you reach forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands at your hips. Inhale, lift the heart, elbows reach back. You can stay here or exhale, draw your core in, let your elbows touch to the back of your chair. Keep your chin tucked this whole time. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, release the arms. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold over. Even that straight leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to heart. Not hands to heart, hands to hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Draw elbows back. Stay here or exhale, reach back. Let your elbows touch. Inhale, lift, core engage. Exhale, hands come forward. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Lengthening the back of that leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to heart. Bend your right leg in. Let's stick with this right side for a second. We're just going to lift this knee up and down. Up and down. Low core has to be involved here. That's the work. So if you find, I found myself leaning back pretty far. Try to keep your shoulders over your hips and just isolate this movement in the obliques, your low core, in your hip flexor. All right, sticking with the right side for one more shape. Bring your hands to the back of your chair or the sides. Either way, we're just leaning back a little bit. This will give us some support to do so. Bring your, we're going to try to cross our legs, but do so the ankle is what catches the knee. Okay. And then you could stay back here, or if you feel comfortable to come forward, you choose the depth of stretch. The closer the foot to the pelvis, the more of the depth of stretch. Okay. Start to reach your left arm high. And then exhale, let that left hand come to the right knee. Maybe it just sits there. For me, I don't really want to put pressure on my knees today, so I'm just going to leave it. But if you feel like you want to encourage the opening of this hip, maybe you press gently. Any twinge in the knee, don't do it. Another option would be to bring your left hand to your foot. Maybe that can help you draw the knee a little closer. Take another breath. Let it go. Bring your left hand back over to the side. Lean back again so it's easier to uncross the leg. And then if you need to do any shaking out, any wiggles, any leg extensions, give this right leg a little kick. All right, let it come back down. And then let's do all that on the other side. Adjust yourself in your seat if you need to. If you slid around, extend your left leg so the back of the heel is pressing down, toes are reaching high. Nice flexion, really pressing in, nice pull of the toes back. I feel that straight in my calf after skiing yesterday. Ooh, yeah, that's a little spicy. All right, find the shape, sit up nice and tall, find your core again. Take an inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift the heart, draw the elbows back. Exhale, stay or reach back, so elbows reach, you have a little more lift. Inhale. Exhale, draw the core in, shift yourself forward, arms reach high. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold forward, finding our extension on this left leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to hips. Draw the elbows back, inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Stay for the exhale or start to lean back to deepen this. Inhale. Exhale, lower the gaze, draw the core in, shift yourself forward. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, hinge at the hips, lean forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to the hips. You got this. Keep going with this flow. One more time. Exhale, leans you back. Inhale, engage the core. Find the hip flexors. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come high. Exhale, hands come low. Take your pause. Start to draw this left knee in. And then start to lift. Trying to isolate this movement right on this left side. Obliques, the hip flexor. Keep it low. Keep it engaged and keep the breath moving. All right, start to lower the foot down. Reach your hands back behind you, either onto the sides or the backs of the chair. Lean back so that you can draw yourself into a figure 4 shape, anywhere along this calf, ankle area. And then come back forward if you'd like. Again, actually, we all should. Coming back to a nice tall spine, coming back forward. And then decide where you go from here. You can keep your hands supported, or maybe they start to come forward if you feel good about that. Maybe your hand comes to grab this foot just to give you some support and find your foundation. Maybe you invite in the arm, giving it a press in the inside of the knee, or grabbing of the foot. Remember our options from the first side. Let's take another inhale. Exhale, let it go. All right, starting to release this shape. We want to uncross the legs, use your hands as support on the chair if you need to. And then wiggle this knee around in any way that feels good. Okay, shake it out. And you're going to start to turn on our chair with the use of these blocks. So grab your blocks, and we'll see how everyone's going to be a little different here based off the height of the chair. But grab your blocks and bring them to the front of the mat or front of the chair. Line up the blocks right on the crease of the chair. Again, that might be a little bit different for all. On one side, doesn't really matter. Well, let's put those on the right side, and we're going to face towards the left. Otherwise, I'll get confused. So what you're going to do is you're going to start to turn. You can keep your hands supported on the back of the chair and then scoot yourself forward. So your left knee is going to be going forward and your right knee is going to have the ability to drop down towards those blocks. So you need to really be on the corner, right in the middle of your pubic bone is where you're going to want the corner of the chair. Okay. And then grab the corner of the chair and the back of the chair and start to draw this knee behind you. So let it come down. And then you want just below the kneecap is where one of these blocks is going to go. And then this is where you may change based off the length of your shin. Maybe you want to go back a little bit, in which case you really just want the hip under the knee. So I'm too far back here. So I'm going to just use my toes and scoot a little bit forward. 2 90-degree angles. Okay. If you need a little bit more space, you need a little more space for your hips, scoot a little farther away from the back of the chair. I have a little pillow here to kind of help with any discomfort that might cause. So think about doing that if you want to make an adjustment. And then let's reach the right arm high. You can keep supported with the back of the chair, or you can let your left arm come high. Here we are in a crescent lunge. Can you lift the hands alongside, or the upper arms alongside the ears? Can you start to roll the palms towards one another? Can you draw your core in? And can you press strong down through your feet and your right shin, as though you don't even have the chair beneath you? Option to also have the hands at heart center. I'm going to opt for that option today. You choose. Draw the shoulders down and away, whichever version you've chosen. Stay here in this stable shape if you'd like, and you really want to just work on the lifting away from the chair. Or if you want to move, inhale, arms come high. Exhale, arms are going to reach back behind you as you shift your weight forward. Maybe this left hand always stays on the back of the chair. You can walk that left hand forward as you swing your right arm forward. And then your exhale, hand slides back along in the chair as your right arm swings. We'll be able to even it out with the other side. Inhale, lift. Maybe practice the gaze. The higher the gaze, more your balance is challenged. Maybe you start to lean back a little bit. Exhale as you lower down. You can always keep the gaze at the horizon if this challenges the balance too much or makes you dizzy in any way. All right, next time hands are high, let's meet back with hands at heart center, either hands to touch or maybe one hand on heart, one hand on chair. Take a last inhale here. And then your exhale, we're going to start to turn back towards the front of the room, front of the chair. Adjust anything you need. And then start to press the blocks a little bit over towards the left. Just using your heel to do so. Sliding, use your hands, obviously. You aren't able to do that with your setup at home. I have some pretty nice carpet here. Anyways, we're going to go to the other side. Let's stop rambling about carpet, shall we? So first, starting to walk yourself really right to center, remembering that our hip is going to drop. Now we have the left side as the experience. Now we get to do this one, knowing a little bit more where we're going. So bring your right knee just in line with your right ankle, and then start to drop the left knee down towards your blocks. Take the time you need to get the setup. Adjust as you need. If you don't need these blocks, or you need them at a higher setting or lower setting, or they feel painful in any way, you could always do this with a bolster, a blanket, anything else too. Just whatever can get your knee on the floor, depending on your height of your chair. If it's a, your height of your chair and your body, you might not even need the blocks at all to get the knee down to the floor. Whole point, find your setup. Okay, start to reach your left arm high. Let your upper arms be alongside your ears. They can stay here, or maybe your right arm meets. Remember, you choose how many points of connection that you have. So if your hand is down on the chair, that's 3 points of connection. If your hand is on your heart, that's 4 points of connection. Find some sort of support so that you feel comfortable as we move. So opportunity to stay here in whatever hand variation you've chosen as we draw the pelvis up, as we press down through the feet, down through the shin, and we start to lift as though the chair is not there. Find your breath. Squeezing inner thighs towards one another. Finding a draw back of the heel to activate our hamstring. Stay here, plenty of work to be done here. Or you start to inhale, arms come high. Exhale, right hand comes to the back of the chair, left arm swings around, right hand walks back. Heart reaches forward. Inhale, arms lift. Maybe gaze comes high as the right hand continues to slide. Your exhale, hand slides, pivots, gaze comes low. You know this flow now. Feel it in your body. Try to match your breath with your movements. If you've chosen to stay stable, your work is your breath and trying to lift off of the chair. Next exhale, let's all meet back at center. Start to shift your right hip closer towards the back of the chair. Bring your left hand back to the center as you spin yourself back around. Start to plant your feet once again. Coming back to where we started. I'm going to give you two options. We're going to come into a fold. So option to just be as you are. You can start to hinge at the hips, bring your hands to the fronts of your knees, elbows draw back. You can stop here. Maybe you start to reach hands back. And then you want to fold forward so that the whole torso comes down to the thighs. So you may want to bring in your blocks to help with that. Maybe that can help you to feel like you're folding, but you're not actually finding that full reach down. So that's an option. Maybe arms come down, start to let the head and the neck hang. Another option would be bring the block, maybe two. I'll start with two and then we'll see if we want to change that. A block or two stacked. Bring the pinky edge sides of your feet to the block. Sit up nice and tall. And then your exhale bends your elbows back. And then when you can, reach for the back of the chair as you start to fold forward. Maybe you'd rather have your hands come down to your feet to just support you. This is very much you're leaning all the way forward. So make sure you feel comfortable with this. Otherwise, I encourage the support of our chairs here as you fold forward. Let the head and neck hang. We won't be here too long. If you've chosen the version where your hands are on your feet, start to walk your hands up to your knees. Really draw your core in. Start to rise. Maybe reach for the back of the chair as you lift. Inhale, hands come high wherever you found yourself. Exhale, hands come low. Remove the blocks in whatever way you use them. And then start to sit back in your chair. Full support. Oh, the first time we felt the back of that chair, perhaps. Can you now let your back be flush with the chair, but still find length? So that makes you round forward, come back to sitting up nice and tall. But if you can, use the support now as a bit of a, okay, I've moved my body a little bit. I've checked in with the legs. I've checked in with the hips. I've done a little twisting. Feel good about what you've done here. Draw the shoulders down in the way. This is our Shavasana shape, our resting shape. Eyes are closed. I encourage you to spend another 3-5 minutes here if you have it. Otherwise, we'll close and say goodbye. Start to draw your hands to heart center. Maybe for this part, you release your back just momentarily while we say adios. Take an inhale. Exhale. Thank you for spending your time and practice today. Namaste.